Hey, yo, what's up, world? We have some big news. I think it's some big news.
The Diddy trial has officially entered its second week, and what's unfolding inside that courtroom isn't just disturbing, it's devastating. Day 6 brought some of the most graphic, emotional, and incriminating testimony yet. And if the federal government is right, what we're watching isn't just the downfall of a music mogul, it's the exposure of a criminal empire that operated for decades behind closed doors. A former assistant broke down in tears describing what it was like to live inside Mr. Combs' kingdom. A former best friend described watching Cassie get dragged by her hair, slammed into concrete, and left motionless. And one artist says she was told she could go missing if she stepped out of line. This isn't just about abuse. It's not just about Cassie. It's about a pattern, a structure, a system. And the more witnesses take the stand, the more it looks like Diddy didn't just abuse his power. He allegedly built a world around it. The testimonies are raw, the details are graphic, and the implications? They could send one of the most powerful men in music to prison for life. Stay with us, because once you hear what these witnesses had to say, you'll never look at Diddy or his empire the same way again. Dawn Richard, best known as a member of Danity Kane and Dirty Money, didn't just testify. She unloaded years of fear, trauma, and secrets onto the courtroom floor. She described walking into Diddy's house, expecting a day of music, only to witness what she called one of the most disturbing scenes of her life. Cassie, barefoot in the kitchen, was cooking breakfast when Diddy came downstairs, raging over missing eggs. Dawn said he exploded, grabbed a skillet, and charged at Cassie. Cassie hit the floor, curling into herself in fear, and Dawn claims she saw Diddy strike her. But what may be even more haunting was what came next. The following day, Diddy invited her back to the studio and casually brushed it off. "That's just what couples do," he told her. The message was clear. Abuse wasn't just tolerated, it was normalized. Dawn testified that Diddy often lashed out at Cassie simply for voicing her own thoughts. If she spoke up, he silenced her, with violence. And when Dawn herself stepped out of line, Diddy allegedly told her, "You could go missing." She also detailed a drug-fueled environment, saying a dealer named One Top would deliver regularly to the studio. Diddy kept a designer pouch full of substances, and bodyguards allegedly carried firearms tucked in their waistbands, ready for anything. Her cross-examination brought up inconsistencies in past statements, but Dawn said what she experienced was traumatic. Memories come back in pieces, and she's still putting the puzzle together. But she wasn't the only one with first-hand knowledge of Diddy's dark side. Carrie Morgan may have once been Cassie's best friend, but on the stand, she was a reluctant truth-teller. She didn't want to be there. She said so up front. The only reason she took the stand was because she was subpoenaed. But what she revealed shook the courtroom. Carrie and Cassie had grown up together in the industry, bonded through photo shoots and rising careers, but that friendship unraveled in the shadow of Diddy's abuse. She testified to witnessing multiple violent incidents, not hearsay, but real moments. She made a point to say that Diddy was never impaired during these attacks. He was sober, aware, and fully in control of his actions. The most harrowing story came from a trip to Jamaica. According to Carrie, Diddy got angry at Cassie for taking too long in the bathroom. Moments later, she heard screams, then saw Diddy drag Cassie across the floor by her hair, throw her outside, and slam her onto a brick surface. Cassie's body went limp. She didn't move. Carrie panicked. She grabbed her purse and they fled the scene on a golf cart, hiding in a ditch for hours, paralyzed by fear. Later, when Diddy showed up at Carrie's own home, he was banging on her door with a hammer. And just when it seemed like the nightmare couldn't escalate further, Diddy allegedly turned violent toward Carrie herself, choking her from behind, leaving bruises, then striking her in the head with a hanger. She went straight to urgent care, vomiting and dizzy. But instead of going public or filing charges, she accepted $30,000. A payout she says came from Diddy, delivered by Cassie. And from that moment forward, their friendship was over. But what happened after these violent encounters is what may turn this from a story of abuse into a criminal conspiracy. Carrie testified that after one violent incident, police were called to Diddy's apartment. A detective handed Cassie his business card, but she refused to give a statement or name her attacker. Instead, she asked Carrie to snap a photo of the card and send it to someone else. Christina K.K. Coram, Diddy's right-hand woman. The subtext was chilling. Be aware, the police are sniffing around. This message wasn't just a warning. It may have been a sign of damage control, evidence that Diddy and his team were working in tandem to manage fallout and maintain secrecy. And the money Carrie received for her silence? That didn't come from Cassie's own bank account. Carrie was clear. It was Diddy's money. Cassie only acted as the go-between. Carrie also revealed another disturbing layer. Cassie once confided in her that she couldn't leave Diddy because he owned her entire life. Her apartment, her job, her car, he controlled it all. That's not just abuse, that's systemic entrapment. And for federal prosecutors, that's exactly what they're trying to prove. A pattern of coercion, manipulation, and control that reaches the threshold for RICO charges. And this web, it's only starting to unravel. He wasn't a celebrity, he didn't have fame or fortune. But when David James, Diddy's former personal assistant, took the stand, the courtroom held its breath. His voice cracked with emotion as he recalled the moment he was hired. During his interview with Bad Boy's HR rep, she pointed to a framed photo of Diddy and said something that sent chills down his spine. Even years later, "This is Mr. Combs' kingdom. We are here to serve it." David said nothing in that moment, but today in federal court, he finally spoke up. He detailed a grueling schedule, 20-hour workdays, sometimes 3 weeks straight without a break, his entire life revolving around one man, Sean Combs. He wasn't just an assistant, he was part of a machine designed to protect, enable, and serve Diddy's every need, no matter how dark those needs became. And then came the most damning revelation. David confirmed what Cassie alleged weeks earlier, that he helped set the environment for private encounters, the ones now being scrutinized under federal trafficking and RICO laws. These weren't just studio parties or celebrity hangouts. These were carefully orchestrated freak-offs, where every element was planned. And David said he was the one making them happen. He described preparing hotel riders to ensure every detail was just right. He said he was expected to manage Diddy's moods, coordinate staff, schedule his days, and make sure every location was comfortable and secure for whatever was about to take place. Then came the quote that may haunt this trial. "I have Cassie right where I want her. She's young and moldable." The jury reportedly reacted. So did the courtroom. It was a glimpse behind the curtain into a world where power wasn't just wielded. It was engineered. And for the prosecution, it was gold. Because David James wasn't just confirming abuse. He was describing a command structure, a system, a hierarchy designed to serve one man's twisted desires. And if this structure holds under questioning, it won't just support the charges of abuse. It could prove a criminal enterprise, the very definition of RICO. And just as David stepped down, the focus turned to what the government really wants to prove next. Because behind every king is a kingdom, and behind every kingdom is a network. This trial isn't just about celebrity abuse, it's about organized power, and the federal government is treating it exactly like that. With a RICO case. RICO, short for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, is the same legal weapon used to dismantle the mafia. And Diddy is now facing a litany of charges under that exact framework. Here's what prosecutors are alleging: kidnapping, forced labor, trafficking, bribery, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and even arson. And the most shocking part? They only need to prove 2 of these violations to send him away, possibly for life. The testimonies from this week, especially Dawn, Carrie, and Diddy's own assistant, David James, are building a pattern. This isn't isolated chaos, it's a coordinated system of control. Dawn described a violent household and a normalized environment of abuse and fear. Carrie described a man who terrorized Cassie, choked her, and chased them both into hiding. David James testified that Diddy ran his business like a kingdom, where assistants were expected to set up private encounters for his pleasure, and no one questioned his rule. It's not just bad behavior, it's not just ego. It's potentially a criminal enterprise. And with the FBI digging deeper, co-conspirators being named, and sealed witnesses waiting to testify, it's becoming clearer with every passing day. This trial might not just end Diddy's career, it could end his freedom. As more testimony unfolds, a disturbing truth becomes clearer. Violence wasn't the only tool Diddy allegedly used. The system around him was weaponized too. Carrie Morgan's testimony painted a chilling picture, not just of the physical assaults, but of the psychological and financial stranglehold Diddy allegedly maintained over Cassie. According to Carrie, Cassie once admitted she couldn't leave. And not because she didn't want to, but because she couldn't afford to. Diddy controlled everything: her apartment, her job, her car, her lifestyle. If she walked away, she lost it all. That level of control, that's not just emotional abuse. That's economic entrapment, a hallmark in many trafficking and forced labor cases. And the $30,000 payout to Carrie for staying quiet? That wasn't a simple act of generosity. It was a strategic move, allegedly funded by Diddy himself, even though Cassie handed it over. The money, the NDAs, the silence, it all appears calculated. It's part of what prosecutors are looking at, a structure of intimidation and suppression, backed by wealth, status, and an army of enablers. From assistants and bodyguards to PR reps and so-called friends, this wasn't just one man acting alone. This was a system built to protect him, shield him, and keep his victims isolated. And that's exactly why the government is pursuing RICO charges, because they're not just trying to prove Diddy hurt people, they're trying to prove he built an empire on it. And as witnesses keep coming forward, the cracks in that empire are getting wider by the day. So where does this all lead? What began as whispers in the industry, rumors swept under the rug for years, is now being laid bare in a federal courtroom. Not by tabloids, not by fan speculation, but by people who were there. People who say they saw it, lived it, and in some cases survived it. From the testimonies of Don Richard and Carrie Morgan, to the assistant who described a kingdom ruled by fear, to sealed witnesses waiting in the wings, each day adds another piece to a puzzle that looks less like a music empire and more like a criminal organization hiding behind fame. And if prosecutors can prove even 2 of the 8 RICO violations Diddy is charged with, it won't just be headlines. It could be a lifetime sentence. This is no longer just a trial, it's a reckoning. And we'll be here to cover every moment of it. If you found this breakdown helpful, smash the like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is the beginning of the end for Diddy, or will he walk free? And don't forget to hit the notification bell, because tomorrow's testimony could be even more explosive. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you next Diddy Day.